What is the biggest misconceptions we have about doctors?
Is that they know everything.
In your conversations with them, do you feel the frustration on the part of the patient having Googled the signs of their illness and coming with preconceived expectations and notions of what both the diagnosis and treatment aspects of that which ails them is, and their message is not getting across because the patient already had an expectation of what the doctor should have done? Is that part of the problem?
That's one of the major problems, because it's like the patient wants to treat themselves. Most doctors are either using some type of drug or are in the process of using some type of drug. That's the vice. Are either adopting a vice or they're using some type of vice. 80% of my female clients now
Yeah.
are either divorced or going through a divorce.
To be clear, these are female doctors.
These are female doctors. The female doctors that are super specializing, married to male doctors who are GPs, or male doctors who are not as ambitious. That's a painful word to say, but not as ambitious. They could be on the same level, but the female doctor is hungry. She wants it all, but the guy is just casual about their job. They have a government job and that's it. The female doctor, maybe they have multiple practices.
For you, you have to continually remind yourself that that's why they are sitting across from you. They came for this validation. They came so that you can pick those clues. And it's in them being vague that they are going to derive the greatest validation, because in their vagueness, you see clarity and you communicate that clarity to them. And now
Yeah.
it enriches the validation that they're seeking.
And I think you just nailed it there. When you are with a divorced person, there's a certain type of language that she speaks, a certain type of way that she holds herself, which gives you a telltale sign that this person could either be single or divorced, but there's no man in the picture. They're going to kill me for this. George, why are we doing this?
Hold that thought, and don't forget what we are about to talk about right now, because I want to talk about that. But let me remind you of a video that went viral not too long ago of a guy, and we want to see him as a therapist. And he's talking to this woman about her relationship. And she's talking about herself. And then the guy asks her, Is he happy?
That's a weird question.
Do you know that video?
I know the video, and then she asked, what does it have to do with his happiness?
Usually they ask if I'm happy.
That's why I'm bringing it up. That's why I'm bringing it up. Because the therapist could see that the selfishness in the woman has created an environment in which it's very obvious the husband is not happy. That's why he asked the question. Now you are telling me a divorced woman, a single woman, has a language of herself. She does not have to say she's single. She does not have to say she's divorced. Does not have to say, now in the case of this woman, that she's in a very unhappy marriage. And now on the part of the man, there is that pumping of the ego that comes with the position they hold in the society, and the regard upon them from the society. How do they break that barrier and put the ego aside and admit, in spite of all that, they need to talk to you? Or are you the one who breaks it for them? That's exactly why I'm asking. Majority of men that join the gym for the first time, it's after a breakup.
True. I can attest to that.
And majority of breakups is the women who dump the guy. Majority of breakup men, because of the ego, they don't want to admit that. But majority of the break, when if you are still at the level where there is the word breakup, chances are you're not in control, right?
Yeah.
So it's happening at a very low vibration level. And I was saying this on Keep a Space, and it almost sounded like controversial. The motivating factor for people to go to the gym is low self-esteem. And you find among men is right after breakup when they internalize that rejection. Again, if you're still vibrating on that level where a breakup means anything to you because you're not in control of it, then the aspect of low self-esteem kicks in. And that's when most people go to the gym. Most men go to the gym. Here we are from
Here we
Mafike,
are.
South Africa. Mark Duke.
How's it? Big Money George,
How
BMG.
are you, man? What's up?
I'm good, and yourself?
It's been a long time. I'm doing very well, man. It's been a long
Yeah, it's been a
time.
long minute. It's been a long minute.
We
Last
met
time I saw you were
in November of 2023 in Kenya.
actually it was December 2023.
Oh, it was December. It was December.
Yeah,
Yes, yes,
yeah,
yes. Yeah, December 2023. And before that,
yeah.
we tried to have an interview, and then it failed because of the road shading, maybe 2 years ago.
That was a long time ago. We don't have load shedding
You
anymore. So that I think it's important for the audience to know that we don't have load shedding anymore.
very good. What's changed?
Um, I think at the time we had brutal stages, which was like stage 6. So the power would leave for about 8 to 11 hours in a day, and they would
Yeah,
schedule it within like in 2 hour to 4 hour intervals. It was tough. It was tough. Those were the
yeah,
tough days.
yeah. So things have improved.
Things have improved a lot. We don't we don't
Yeah.
we don't experience it as much as we used to.
Okay. Man, I saw a video
Mhm.
of Cape Town.
Yeah,
Wow, that country is beautiful, bro. I mean, if you don't know it's South Africa, you would think it's Monaco or somewhere in Midwestern USA.
bro, it's a planet altogether. I mean, that planet is beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. When I come to South Africa for my first time, I want to go to the south side, the Cape Town.
Be, before you go to KwaZulu Natal.
Wait, wait. Is Cape Town the south?
Yeah,
Yes, that's where I want to go.
before you go to the Reed Dance.
I want to do the trip from Cape Town to KwaZulu Natal on the road.
Yeah,
But I want to fly into Cape Town.
man, I think you should come.
Yeah. And I have my forever guide in Gail and McDuke. I'm in good hands.
Yeah. You've got a nice setup going there. I haven't spoken to Geo
Yes.
in a while, but I know she's in a good place.
She is. She is a very good resource. Yes. Yeah.
She is. I can guarantee you she's a very good resource.
Yeah. So what have you been up to?
I've been up to quite a lot, but predominantly
Yeah.
I've been building up my business. I think the last
Yes.
time we spoke, I was in Johannesburg. Now I'm in Mafikeng, and the distance is like 400 kilometers.
In
So I
Mafike.
moved here, yeah, in Mafikeng. I moved here
Which
because
direction is it on the map?
it's towards the northwest of South Africa.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, so I've been
Like, to,
here for quite a while.
yeah.
Yeah, I've been here for quite a while. I'm building up a business here. So I'm not, it's right now it's indefinite. I'm not yet certain whether I'm gonna be going back to Joburg, but I need to go back to Joburg. But before I go to Joburg, I've got two options. It's either I'm gonna be living in Ghana for 3 months, or I'm going to be living in Kenya in 3 months. So I'm still dabbling between those decisions. But with what I've been doing, I think it's just I've been building up the business, actively building up the business.
And the last time we spoke, which is yesterday, you mentioned that you have a satellite office in Kenya and in Ghana.
Yes, 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 yes. So what I do is I get interns, I get talent. Um, so the one talent that I have in Kenya, the guy is doing medical bio, I think biomedics or something to do with medicine and biology. And he
Okay.
understands the language of medicine. So the brand becomes palatable if there's somebody there who's being a steward of the brand. So
Yeah.
that's the one guy that I have there. And then I've got
Yeah.
one girl in Kenya who's also a steward of the brand. So predominantly the office is just it's an online setup, but
Yeah.
I've decided to kind of make them like micromanagers of the business. Like they like the micro owners of the business, so that when I'm ready to establish, then it's easy for me to unfold to those individuals. So yes, I do have a little and a
Ah.
virtual quarter in Kenya and a virtual
Yeah.
quarter there by Ghana.
Very nice. You are laying the you are laying the groundwork, the foundation.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. That's the only thing that I can do. Like I said
Yeah.
yesterday, the only thing that I do is work. I wake up, it's work. I go to the gym, it's work. If I decide to go to a date or if I decide to be with a woman, it's part of work.
You told me yesterday when you're not working, you are working.
Well, when I'm not working, I'm working.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about your product.
All right. So I think the product, the perceived value of the product is podcasting for medical professionals. That's the
Okay.
perceived value of the product. But
Yeah.
deeper than the product, I noticed that doctors don't get validated a lot. And you could be with a doctor and then you realize that there's a little bit of self-esteem issues there, or there's a little bit of the need to be accepted or the need to become human. So ever since I've been spending a lot of time with doctors, I get to see that these people they are superheroes, but they also need a superhero. They just need somebody to validate them. Somebody to
Yeah.
say, you know what, that's a good idea. Somebody to say, you know what, we can turn that idea into a marketable tool. So now the heart of the product, which is the actual product, is the validation, is the validation that I sell. So whenever I'm in a conversation or in a sales presentation with a client, I don't speak about the features and the benefits. I get to ask them, how important is this for you and your family? Like, how important is this for you and your family? If we could accomplish this idea, how would it make you feel? I'm very selective with the words that I use. And in many cases, they get to tell me how they how they want to be treated or how they want to be perceived or how they want to do business. But in the core of what they are saying, it's I listen to what is not being said. So when I listen to what is not being said, I get to understand what the real product is, which is validation. But the physical product is podcasting for doctors, it's marketing, which is that part doesn't really make money. But if you can really get into their soul, if you can really get into their minds, they they are out there desperately waiting to hear from you. It's just that nobody's listening because, when you are a doctor, there are so many expectations. That's the product.
Ah, got it.
Yeah.
Because
Psychology.
before you explained it, I thought you were either complementing or supplementing what the pharmaceuticals do with the doctors.
Mhm.
I thought that's what it was.
Yeah.
But this is the social aspect of it.
Yeah, this is the social aspect of it. That's the child that was abandoned.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get the child, the adult will give you money.
So do you talk to them about the day job, the struggles, the difficulties, the challenges?
Yeah, I talk to them about their day jobs. I talk to them about they're open enough to talk about their relationships. They're open
Uh-huh.
enough to talk about their disappointments.
Yeah.
If most doctors are either using some type of drug or are in the process of using some type of drug. That's the vice. Are either adopting a vice or they're using some type of vice. If they're not using some type of vice, they have relationship issues. You know, if they don't have relationship issues, they have connectivity issues. So you get to understand the person. So when you speak heart to heart with them, they end up opening up to you.
What is the biggest misconceptions we have about doctors?
Is that they know everything.
Aha.
Yeah.
Aha. And now
They
that
Mhm.
becomes a burden on their part because there's
Aha.
this void that the society expects them to feel,
Exactly.
and they are incapable
Exactly.
and unable to,
They're
and they feel
incapable.
like
They
they are
feel
falling short.
that's it.
Holy moly!
And they also, when you go to a consultation with a doctor, you already have an expectation. You are in a lot of pain. The only thing that you want is relief. And you don't care about how they feel at the time or what they're going through at the time. You just want relief. And their main business activity is to find a solution. In many cases, the solutions are not even present. They are trying to figure it out, just like everybody else is trying to figure it out.
So let's even talk about that solution and the expectation that they have the answers to the problems that ails the patient. In your conversations with them, do you feel the frustration on the part of the patient having googled the signs of their illness and coming with preconceived expectations and notions of what both the diagnosis and treatment aspects of that which ails them is, and their message is not getting across because the patient already had an expectation of what the doctor should have done? Is that part of the problem?
That's one of the major problems because it's like the patient wants to treat themselves. It's like, hey, I read Google said that Google said that this rash and this fever is because maybe I've got hepatitis and this is the treatment that you should give me. But it frustrates them a lot because this is somebody who has invested their lives going into university, going into medical school, sacrificing their lives so that they can be on this very same table with that patient. Now that patient wants to treat themselves and they're not even listening. So I think that one is one of the biggest pain points that doctors have to face.
And they share those frustrations with you.
Exactly.
Wow. Wow. Tell me more. What else are they struggling with? I'm even lost. I'm even lost for words. Like I can't think fast enough.
Yeah, doctors are struggling with relationships,
The
especially if it's
relationship
a
aspect of it. Because
yeah,
remember when I asked you what is the biggest misconception we have about doctors, I was expecting you
yeah,
to tell me is that they date inside the circle of the medical field.
uh-huh. Which is a big frustration, because you are dating a busy person. You are dating somebody who's got the weight of the world on their shoulder. You also have your own weight. And I think with the experience that I have, especially women, with women, they're not going to be happy. I think currently 80% of my female clients now
Yeah.
are either divorced or going through a divorce.
To be clear, these are female doctors.
These are female doctors. And
Yes.
that's like 90% of my clients
Mhm.
are female.
And
Either
the
they're going
challenge
through a
is,
divorce.
yes,
Yeah, either they're going through a divorce or they are in a divorce or they are having marital problems.
and the challenge is, as you articulated yet a little bit earlier, it's because they are entangling with people inside of the medical field who are also going through the same challenges and difficulties and expectations
Yeah,
and shortcomings. And so these are two negatives trying to fuse together, and it backfires on both of them.
exactly. It even becomes a much heavier burden if the female doctor is a, let's say, the female doctor is a specialist, like a a specialist, like a pulmonologist, and the male
Yes,
doctor is a GP. So now there's
general practitioner.
differences in status, there's differences in
Yeah,
rank, there's differences in experience. So
yeah.
you also see a pattern that the female doctors that are super specializing married to male doctors who are GPs or male doctors who are not as ambitious. That's a painful word to say, but not as ambitious. They could be on the same level, but the female doctor is hungry. You know, she wants it all. But the guy is just casual about their job. They have a government job and that's it. The female doctor, maybe they have multiple practices.
Wow. Bro, scratch the surface and there's a whole new world there that we are not
Bro,
familiar with.
bro, bro.
Holy moly.
Suicide, doctors, they're leading. Drug use, doctors, they're leading.
Are they using um are they abusing medicine or are they using street drugs? I
Um,
don't know how to define the hard drugs, I think is the word.
yeah, mostly they know how to maneuver the medicine.
Yeah.
Yeah, they know how to maneuver the medicine.
Lorazepam.
Yeah.
Is that a common misuse drug?
Which one?
Lorazepam.
I've never heard. Unless you're using that one, I've never used it. Uh,
Come on. You know Lorazepam. Let me see.
oh shit.
Yes, that's what it's called. It's a benzodiazepine medication commonly used to treat anxiety, seizures, insomnia, and muscle spasms, and as a sedative before medical procedures. You understand now why you would understand now why it can be abused.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I've also noticed one thing, George, while we're still here. Um, you know that you know that a divorced woman has her own language. You don't have to ask her if she's
Okay.
divorced.
Aha.
Like she's
Aha.
got a language of a divorce. But like I've studied women in my profession and women entirely to a point whereby when you are with a divorced person, there's a certain type of language that she speaks, a certain type of way that she holds herself, which gives you a telltale sign that This person could either be single or divorced, but there's no man in the picture. They're going to kill me for this. George, why are we doing this?
Hold that thought, and don't forget what we are about to talk about right now, because I want to talk about that. But let me remind you of a video that went viral not too long ago of a guy, and we want to see him as a therapist. And he's talking to this woman about her relationship. And she's talking about herself. And then the guy asks her, is he happy? Do you know that video?
I know the video, and then she asked, what does it have to do with his happiness?
There. That's why I'm bringing it up. That's why I'm bringing it up. Because the therapist could see that the selfishness in the woman has created an environment in which it's very obvious the husband is not happy.
Mm.
That's why he asked the question. Now you are telling me a divorced woman, a single woman, has a language of herself. She does not have to say she's single. She does not have to say she's divorced. Does not have to say, now in the case of this woman, that she's in a very unhappy marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Duke!
Experience, bro.
You know, yesterday when you said you sell validation as a packaged commodity. I, I, I couldn't quite place it. Now I know what you meant.
It makes sense now.
A lot of it. A lot of it. Whoa. A divorced woman has a language. She doesn't have to tell you she's divorced.
She doesn't need to indicate that she's divorced. Just listening to her. Just 5 minutes is too much. It's a lot. Listening to her, she will tell you that she's divorced. But she won't say it through her words. She won't say it bluntly. But you need a circumcised ear.
And it's your place to pick up those cues.
It's my place to pick up those cues, because these are the exact same cues that marketers use and scammers use to lure women into products. Because an example, a man, for me, I'm fat. I'm fat. I need to go to the gym. I need to unfat. It's linear. But for a woman, she's big boned, she's chubby. She doesn't need to go to the gym. She just needs to pick Ozempic, and then by picking Ozempic, she's going to post it. Her friends are going to validate her, and the product description is not it's not health benefits. The product decision is an outcome that she's yearning for. She's willing to destroy her self-esteem, her body. She's willing to destroy her soul so that she can get that outcome. But she needs to be validated.
I'm still stuck on here, where it's your duty, it's your responsibility to pick up those cues
Mm-hmm.
and understand the woman before she says the words. Not just the woman, anybody in front of you.
Anybody, yeah, anybody.
In psychology, and I'm very sure you know about it, there is this term called the theory of mind, TOM, TOM.
Mm.
It's the one that gives you the right to prejudge and to predict and to presume and to validate what you actually think of people before they say it. Because 99% of the time, it's right.
True.
And for you, you have to continually remind yourself that that's why they are sitting across from you. They came for this validation. They came so that you can pick those cues. And it's in them being vague that they are going to derive the greatest validation, because in their vagueness, you see clarity and you communicate that clarity to them. And now it
Yeah.
enriches the validation that they're seeking.
And I think you just nailed it there. It's all validation.
Bro,
I mean,
my mind is getting blown right now.
it's all validation. The product is a hoax. The product doesn't exist. It's all validation.
Yes. And now I'm tempted to ask, how did you figure that out?
Like I said, through experience. I mean, somebody the other day, a guy asked me what I do for a living. I said I day trade conversations for a
You
living.
do what?
So
You
I
do
day trade conversations.
you do what?
So basically, I have conversations with people. That's what I do. So when I sell, when I'm in a sales
Or you
presentation,
have
I'm
daily
not worried about the
conversations?
product. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not worried about the
yeah,
product or how good the product
yeah,
is. I just want to have a conversation with the person.
yes,
So when you have a conversation with the person, they will tell you exactly who they are.
yeah,
Yeah, and uh, there's I'm looking at some of the notes that I kept here. It says the 9 basic motives that influence people into making a buying decision. That's something that I've noticed. It's the motive of self-preservation, and self-preservation. It's so important for women. We know,
yes. I was about to chime in exactly those words, especially for women.
especially for women.
Yes,
There's the motive of love. People want to
yes,
be loved, and love doesn't exist. We know that love love is love is a chemical reaction that allows two people to mate. There's
yes.
nothing much there. It's it's empty. And then there's the motive for financial gain. There's
And
the
one
motive.
moment. And so because love does not exist in that spectrum, so the replacement of it is acceptance.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Acceptance.
yeah.
Now you're opening another universe. Now you're opening another black hole.
And now you were going to the third one, which is
Yes, the
financial
the mo-
satisfaction.
yeah, financial gain.
Yeah.
There is the motive of sexual urge. This this one is important for guys. The motive of desire for power and fame. There's the motive of fear. There's the motive of revenge. You know, a woman can lose weight just because she wants to spite on the boyfriend. Even a guy can go to the gym after a breakup. Bruh, there's a breakup can be a very valuable tool to a guy because they get to recreate themselves. I've seen it with myself. Because now you want to revenge to that girl.
Majority of men that join the gym for the first time, it's after a breakup.
True. I can attest to that.
And majority of breakups is the women who dump the guy. Majority of breakup men, because of their ego, they don't want to admit that. But majority of the break, when if you are still at the level where there is the word breakup, chances are you're not in control, right?
Yeah.
So it's happening at a very low vibration level. And I was saying this on Keep a Space, and it almost sounded like controversial. The motivating factor for people to go to the gym is low self-esteem. And you find among men is right after breakup, when they internalize that rejection. Again, if you're still vibrating on that level where a breakup means anything to you because you're not in control of it, then the aspect of low self-esteem kicks in. And that's when most people go to the gym. Most men go to the gym. Women go to the gym to compete with the competition. If they see the competition, the low esteem factor is activated. Now they go to the gym to beat and match the competition. But nobody wants to have that conversation, Mark Duke.
Today we're gonna have it. there's there's the motive of freedom. There's the motive of desire to build and to create career, business, and So these are the 9 These are what I have noticed.
Yeah.
When I sell, I'm looking for these motives. Exactly where is this person? And you also need to speak their language. You know, Jesus was so smart when he met Peter and I think Peter and Andrew, because they were fishermen. So when he got there, the conversation was, follow me and I will teach you how to deliver people. You know, we're going to be fasting and praying. What does Peter know about fasting and praying? So what Jesus said, you know what, follow me and I'll turn you into fishers of men. That's the language they understand. So he met them where they are. So if you can detect the motive where the person is buying, you address that motive. You don't address love when you are dealing with revenge. You don't want to sell wheat to the Pope. You want to sell the Bible to the Pope.
There was this time Jesus went with a few of his disciples to hang out at Peter's house. But Peter's mom had a flu. And James was a doctor, right?
Yeah.
James did not bring his medicine back. So the expectation would be like, hey, there is a doctor in the house, give mom some antihistamines, and then she's gonna get well and start cooking and tending to this group of guys. But James fell short because as a doctor, he should always carry that bag with a cure for the eventualities. So Jesus stepped in and healed Peter's mother. I'm not sure if it's mother or mother-in-law, but it was one of those. And then she instantly got well and now started cooking and caring for them. Meet people at the point of their needs, and then they will always reciprocate.
Definitely.
Yeah. And now even those pillars of the goals and expectations, when you look them with a woman doctor in mind, they weigh more heavily on her than they weigh on the man.
True.
Because she's already elevated into this pedestal of a place where normally girls don't belong. So the weight of and the expectation of the society is upon her. And because of the competition in that circle of the very small group of people, if she chooses the wrong mate, I'm just retelling your story. If she chooses the wrong mate and married down, then the challenges of the guy is not matching to the expectation of the society, to the expectation of this pedestalized girl that is a high achiever. That now brings the friction because the ambition on the part of the man is not there. So all those things weigh more heavily on the girl. She has so much to prove, both to herself and the society.
Now, the guy turns into a dog trainer. You look at his hands, you look at his feet, you look at his body, he has bite marks. He's the most beaten.
Wow.
But I think that's the reality with most men. Trying to
And
tame that
you're
energy.
saying this. Let's translate that. You are saying this because he is dealing with too much of a big dog than his own level.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. The dog won't
And he cannot
submit.
succeed. He can. I was going there. He cannot succeed in rehabilitating her because she's too much of a big dog for him.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Yeah. I think that's that's the modern woman when you think about it.
Yeah.
And that's what we have in the sexual marketplace. Because after they're divorced or after they've gone through a breakup, if I get into a relationship, now it means that I'm taking a rescue dog. A rescue dog is a fucking beast, untamable.
Yeah.
If the owner could not tame the dog at the time, the only thing is to put it down. The only way forward is to put it down.
And do these women come to you with that reality in mind, or are they trying to push it out of the equation?
When you put it in a general spectrum, they try to put it outside the equation. They make it seem like it's not there. So if you're not circumcised, if you don't have a circumcised eye and a circumcised ear, then you'll be adopting a very dangerous person in your life.
Holy moly!
I'm also speaking from personal experience.
You keep saying that. What is the story there?
This one is a bedtime story for another night, but I think we know the story generally. But I'll just say, historically, trying to date maybe a woman who's got a better status than you, it's not ideal. Better status, earns more than you, probably older than you, because you you don't you don't have you have not accumulated enough value to make her submit.
What I hear you saying, Mark Duke, is that you have in the past been in the habit of marrying up, marrying older women, marrying
Mhm.
more independent modern women with more experience, with more money, with more say, with better status.
More children.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, wow. How do I say? Hi, Bo.
Hey, Bo, yo, show me.
Where and did you now I want to put it in the past. Did you put yourself in that position because you do not have the information or because you thought you had an exception to the rule?
I thought I was an exception to the rule. I thought I was gonna crack the code. I thought I was gonna. I thought I was going to interpret the Da Vinci Code.
I'm tempted to ask, how did that work out for you? I am a bad person.
I've got I've got bite marks all over me.
Whoa. Whoa.
I've got bite marks all over me.
And more than just the bite marks, you also create an unfavorable condition for the children.
For the children, you also you are also trading your You're basically selling your soul.
Yeah.
The price is steep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you waste a lot of time. I mean, if a ship, and I think the ships are the best things to for this analogy, because there's no highway in the ocean.
Yeah.
If a ship loses course, for it to recalibrate back to course, it takes a lot of energy activation and time
Mm.
to regain back the course. And I think that is the life of a regular guy.
Yeah.
If you just make the wrong turn, the
Mm.
recovery from that takes forever.
It takes for, and the recovery for women and men, it's different because naturally you are a producer and a provider, and for them they are more consummate and they exhaust, they consume. That's why they need provision. So it means that
Yeah.
you are going to cover away a part of you that can never be recovered. You'll never be the same, ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'll never be the same.
Yeah. You know, there's that saying that a red pill is just a recovering blue pill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's red pill. It's trying to escape the matrix, which creates another matrix.
So I'm still intrigued by these interactions with the doctors,
Yeah.
and especially on the part of the woman. Okay, now if we go back to this part of the man, and I'm going to ask this differently: how are they able to put their ego aside so that they can admit that they need help?
I didn't get the last part. So that they can admit that
They need help. Because a doctor in any society, in any setting, is a very amplified career. They are held in as high regard, if not more, than a pilot who flies a big aircraft. So, and they solve other people's problems, physical and psychological and emotional. And now, on the part of the man, there is that pumping of the ego that comes with the position they hold in the
yeah
society and the regard upon them from the society. How do they break that barrier and put the ego aside and admit, in spite of all that, they need to talk to you? Or are you the one who breaks it for them? That's exactly why I'm asking.
yeah. I think for the male doctor, it's much more complex because I'm dealing with another guy. I have to imagine that if it's it's not our natural state for us to open up. We're not like women. We don't open up. We don't. So trying to kind of sway the conversation into your own favor with the guy, it's much more complex. But you get it by becoming a brother.
Okay.
Yeah, you counsel the client relationship. Now you become a brother. You become a friend. So when you are in a position of being a friend and a brother, it's much more easy because they'll give you clues. They won't give you the whole information, but they'll give you clues.
After you get them to open up, are the conversations a little bit more open and more direct, or do you still have to decode the language as in the women?
Yeah, yeah. For guys full time, you have to decode the language, and you also have to know your place because there's a line that you're not supposed to cross.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Women,
Yeah.
with women, their lives are blurred. They want to open up.
Yes.
Yeah, they want to open up. With guys, you have to trade in carefully. So when you're a friend, it's much better because sometimes they'll say, "Ish, brah, you know, I'm going through a divorce." And one, two, three, and then it ends there. You don't need to say anything else. But then they have given you that information. Now you know what to do. Now it's no longer about you doing social media. Now it's about you with your motive of revenge.
Holy moly. I still come back to how did you know you are apt for that task?
Oh, George. I think I've been stupid. I think stupid people, foolish people are the only people who need experiences to learn. Wise people, they have gotten the experience, therefore they teach. A stupid person still needs to experience. Even when you have the with the lost cause failures, you know that you are losing. You know that there's no possible way that you can win. There's no way that you can win across all multiple universes or across all lifetimes, whether you are in heaven or hell or whether you are on this earth. There's no way you're going to win. You are a fool. You still want to experience it. A wise man will tell you that I have learned. There's no need for me to go back there. So I've been foolish.
And do you come to the reality that more men choose the foolish way than women?
Yeah, more men choose the foolish way.
What is blinding them?
They they believe love is like a G spot. You know it's there, but it's not really there. They'll always tell you that no, there's a G spot and you need to hit it. And for a woman to get maximum satisfaction, you need to hit that G spot. Where's the G spot? It's just a thing. Love is just like the G spot.
So they convince themselves they are still going to be right, even when it's taking longer. And
That
the time consumption is wasting away other factors that are more important than them proving that they are manly, they have an ego, they have a status to protect and an image to carry. Are those the challenges you're facing with, guys?
yeah, bro. You are conceding, giving away your purpose, giving away your mission, so that you can fix things. In the name of fixing things,
Yeah.
what are
And
you
so now we
losing?
go back to the question.
Yeah.
We go back to the question I asked you. Do they come realizing that they have to put the ego aside, or do you have to guide them there?
I think with recent encounters outside, just outside medicine, just generally with guys, um, they are protecting their own suffering. If it's better to leave them to suffer than to tell them that they're suffering, because the moment you tell them that they are suffering, they will do everything to protect their own suffering.
In denial,
In denial.
or are they trying to justify the suffering?
Now that's another window.
And I'll
Justifying
tell
the
you why I'm
suffering.
asking you. I'll tell you why I'm asking you this question. Totally unrelated to what we're talking about. I stayed in America for 11 years illegally.
Mm-hmm.
Today, if you ask me if there's anything I would have changed about that, I would still say no. If the outcome that I'm looking at is still intact, and you offer me a different pathway where I got in and I had the papers on day one, or in 2 months, or in 3 years, or in 5 years, or in 7 years, or in 10 years, but my outcome, the one I worked for, is still intact, I would still say no. Give me the 11 years
Yeah.
of living illegally. I am justifying.
Mm.
I'm justifying something that could have been avoided. Is that the hindrance that you find in guys?
Yeah, it is, because I think, and the reality is that holding on is more painful than giving up.
Yeah.
Yeah. They won't give up. They know they need to give up, but they won't. It's like we've been cast with a spell.
Whoa. And you
And
have
there's milk.
monetized. You have monetized that validation.
Oh, George. Now I sound like I'm monetizing other people's suffering.
I mean, isn't that what the doctors do?
Yeah, I mean that's what they do. That's what everybody do.
You are the doctor's doctor.
Yeah.
Whoa. You know, I have had interactions with very high profile corporate coaches.
Yeah.
They are very cagey in sharing the inner workings of that world. Now I see so clearly what happens in there and the kind of mindset you have to be in to understand
Yeah.
that world. Because there's no difference between a doctor and a corporate client. And the similarities are in the high profile aspect of it. The regard at which a high flying executive is held at and expected of in the society is exactly the same like this one here of a medical doctor. And for you to be the doctor's doctor, Mark Duke. So yesterday when we were talking about something different, that's when you said that you remember me talking about customizing a product to serve a small group of people and make it 10x. That's where you are coming from.
That's where I'm coming from.
You know, I learned that method from Grant Cardone. You know that guy, Grant Cardone, that everybody
Yeah.
dismissed. And the people at first, they did not believe that he was a billionaire. He is the architect of 10x. Well, in our lifetime.
Yeah. And for you to reach that level and to understand things for what they are, not what they seem to be, you have to be obsessive. Actually, obsessive is light. You have to be psychotic.
It's a very good thing to be. I mean, the greatest freedom is in madness.
Yeah.
Ask me how I know.
How do you? Because you are mad. You
The
are
greatest
mad with
freedom is in madness. Yeah. You have to be psychotic.
I've watched the movie The Simpsons. There's a scene where I think they're emulating Arnold Schwarzenegger as the governor. I don't remember, but there's a scene where the governor was mad with power, And then a guy came in, he said, you are mad with power. And then he said that, have you ever tried being mad without power? It's boring. Power is madness.
You know, there is a level past self-actualization. The level past self-actualization is transcendence.
Yeah.
That guy is in his own world. That world is a world where we want to call madness. And the only way to be in the transcendence realm is to not care what the minions say.
Yeah.
How would they understand a mad person? Have you seen a mad person in the market worrying about how people perceive them? They don't care because they have transcended. That is the ultimate mind of God. Transcendence. Madness is beautiful, bro.
Bro. you get to look at a dude like Elon Musk. That guy is,
Bro, look at this.
without the
Look at
madness,
this
is
guy.
nothing.
Look at this guy. He spent 6 months campaigning for the president. They win. He created a whole new department, government, federal government department.
Yeah, yeah.
He aces in it, shows us how to save the money. Then when he realizes that the politicians don't have the appetite to save money, because politicians' job is to spend the money, he comes out of it as if he does not remember he is the guy who helped this guy in. That madness, bro. Receptive to all, attached to none.
None. Nothing is
That
attached to
you
your
are
soul.
willing to leave this thing here that everybody thinks is the biggest dream. You are willing to leave it in an instance, attached to none. Madness. Madness. I have never seen a relationship I'm not willing to walk away from.
Yeah.
Madness. Madness. Because conditions are limiting.
Yeah.
There is no limitation without a condition. There is no condition without a limit. If you can transcend beyond the limits, beyond the conditions, heaven, like God.
Some God level.
Yes. So this guy is willing to walk away from anything. Anything that you think is important, you can have it. Right in front of our eyes.
God damn.
Madness is where freedom is. Madness. Yeah. So
Makes perfect sense.
before we went to madness, we were at the 10x. So
Yes.
what is the point you can look back to and say, this is when it clicked?
Yeah. On the video, you said that, okay, you don't need to work with a lot of people. You can just create your own, take away the need to be a part of the pie. Don't look for a slice in the pie. Create your own pie. Get your own niche, a small group of people, and then you create a monopoly. When you said you create a monopoly, that's when it clicked.
Did you know anybody who was doing what you're doing?
Pardon?
Are there other people doing what you're doing?
Not a lot. Not a lot of people doing what I'm doing, but
Yeah.
they are starting to pick up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is just zeroing in on a very, very minute, high profile, high paying clientele.
Clientele. And you know what people used to tell me? That no, you're not gonna survive in medicine. You should generalize. There's a lot of scarcity. You're taking away opportunities. Just be the guy doing everything for everyone. But I think even for today, the people who can take advantage of the scarcity are going to create a new type of abundance.
We witnessed that during the 2020 lockdown.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Yes. They created an artificial scarcity, and in return, they reaped in lots of abundance out of
Oh,
it.
bro, that pandemic needs to be studied.
It will be started.
A
And people
brilliant
who are,
idea.
yes, yes, yes. The situation, and I don't want to, I don't want to derail you here with my thoughts. The situation of Israel, Iran fighting, and Donald Trump interfering with it. There's something there we have not grasped yet.
Yeah.
There is something there that is extremely ingenious on the part of Donald Trump.
We saw it with, he saw that Bush cashed in and Obama cashed in. Joe Biden didn't have the backbone to, you have to be mad to witness the opportunity for yourself.
What you're looking for is the word moral courage. Because the office he occupied comes with the power of the moral courage, and he lacked
Yeah.
that. He was way too compromised to have a backbone. And I'm telling you now, for the record, something happened. That situation there, that the three triangle, Israel, Iran, and Donald Trump, something happened there. And it's triggering my mind now when you're talking about the lockdown need to be studied. We shall revisit that. Whatever happened there, it's way so powerful for puny minds to wrap their brains around it.
Exactly.
Something huge happened there. So 10x. Do you now two questions? Do you remember your first client? And what is your best moment that stood out for you?
Oh, my first client. Damn. That was a long donkey time. I do remember my first client. I actually do remember my first client. Because at the time we're in trouble, three guys starting a company. The one guy who has all the technical skills, he gets angry, he leaves. Now somebody has to come up with a solution. I go to YouTube, I learn how to do logos, I learn how to do websites, and now I have to deliver. The client was happy. That was the first client. I think it also answers the question, what was the best key moment for me? I think that was the best key moment for me because it was an invitation at the time. Though the client was angry, I never intended to actually go into entrepreneurship. But because I was in trouble at the time and the lady just did not want to understand, I had to go to YouTube, open my Photoshop, do a logo and do a website, give it to the client. And at the end of the day, the outcome was great.
Wow. Were you rough around the edges, as the Texans would say?
I was so rough around the edges because I remember when I was on YouTube, I was doing each and every little step that they would. I didn't want to miss a step, so I was pausing within 3 seconds, 6 seconds, those small intervals, because I wanted to see each and every detail. So I was so rough around the edges. I gave them a
Yeah.
broken product.
Whoa. So you are thrown into the deep, and there was a huge learning curve for you.
Bro, I learned how to swim in a pool full of sharks.
Wow. Did you ever see them a second time?
After that moment, we did a lifestyle event, and
Okay.
yeah, and they were doing catering, and then I went to the very same client, and then I asked them to sponsor us with catering and deco, and they actually agreed. So I didn't even pay them. That was the second time when I saw them, and then they relocated.
Perfect. And now the moment that stood out for you the most, that is the ultimate point of reference for you.
Yeah.
So what is that ultimate achievement for you in dealing with a client? Or a situation, a condition that stood out the best for you?
Yeah, I think it was the not even though you are in the thick of pressure, at the end of the day you have to deliver.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they don't care. They don't care about you. They don't care about how you feel. They don't care if you use Photoshop or Canva. They don't even care if you designed the logo on the brick. You have to deliver.
What a unique opportunity to be in, bro. And to be able to recognize that and
Yeah,
to know what to do with it. Because a lot of people see those opportunities, but they don't have the backbone to jump into the opportunity and become the change that they would want to see.
true.
Yeah. So when it comes to these satellite offices and the points of contacts that you have in West Africa and East Africa, do you get to do a telecom face to face with a client from Kenya or Ghana?
Yeah. So I think I've created the system in such a way that sometimes I don't even need to meet the client. We can meet like twice in a month. So the arrangement is we meet twice in a month. And what I do
Yeah.
is I'm going to create work and delegate the team a month in advance. I can even create work for 3 months in advance and delegate it to the team.
Mm-hmm.
Then from there I can even live my life. I don't even need to do the technical work, but I don't need to move away from the company. So it's now it's becoming in such a way that another reason why I'm in Mafeking and not Johannesburg, I also noticed that my clients don't call me a lot. So
Mm-hmm.
when we have those 2 interactions in the month, they won't call me because they are busy. They just want me to do the work. Some clients don't
Yeah.
even have the time to make the decision. So I have to make the decision on their behalf because
Yeah.
they trust my professional knowledge. So
Yeah.
it even comes to a point whereby I am location independent. It does not matter where I am in the world. As long as I have this system, I I meet with them twice telephonically. I give the team the work, and then at the end of the day, they get to deliver. I just, approve there and there. It just makes life so easy for me.
Have you ever convinced a woman to go back to a bad relationship that she obviously wanted to get out of? I don't even know why I'm asking that question. I still want to go to this relationship with women.
Okay. I've got this client, you know. This happened 3 weeks ago. She wanted to leave her marriage. She still has the essence of a woman. She's not a perfect woman, but she still has the essence of a woman. No, she knows how to dress. She knows how to address men. She knows how to be in the background. She's a girl that was programmed by the father. So she's still holding on to the essence of her femininity and her womanship. Now she's having marital problems, and then there's a new guy in the picture. She's fancied by this guy. Now she's thinking of leaving the marriage and then going to this guy. But then if then I got to show her in 8K in a full view what she's about to do to herself, because she's about to cut her lifeline. Her complaint is that no, the guy is controlling, the guy is insecure. But I said, but then you cannot protect what you can't control. He has to control you to protect you. Because at the time, your father used to tell you that you need to be in the house by 6 p.m. You don't have to be with certain type of friends. You don't have to adopt certain types of disciplines. Your father at the time was controlling you so that he can protect you. And the only reason why you kept your virtue up to this day is because of your father. And then your father entrusted you with this guy who is going to do the very same thing that your father must do so that you can still stay protected and you maintain and preserve your virtue. So now, because you think the guy is controlling, you want to leave so that you can go to a speed boy, you're going to lose it all. You're cutting away your love life. It was not a bad marriage. I advised her that, look, you're not in a bad marriage. You just have a lot of noise in your head. Go back to your family.
Now I know why I asked the question.
Yeah. Bro, she was about to do one big mistake. It
Yeah.
with their vanity, when they are saying it with their vanity, it sounds like it's the right thing to do. But if you get to look at the full picture of what she's bringing herself into, I said, you know what, dog, you're not one of those, you're not those girls. That's what I told her. You're not those girls. Stay in your marriage. It's not about happiness. It's about the benefit of the children and the family.
You know, now that reminds me of an interaction I had on X, on the inbox. A young mother coming to me on the inbox and telling me that she feels like she needs something else. She has given birth to 3 children. They are now going to school. She is home alone. She needs something else to do. She needs another project.
Yeah.
And I'm like, your home is your project. Which other project are you looking for? You're fully provided for. You're fully taken care of by a very, very, very high value man that has put everything within your reach and provision. What is this other thing you're looking for out there? This is your domain. You have been given power that comes with the responsibilities of the home. Which other place do you want to go to? Yeah, and she saw the sense of it. And it's very similar to what you're just telling me now about the doctor woman. Yeah. Man, what a unique position to be in, MacDuke. I can't wait to see you flourish and expand and appear on opera like Dr. What is his name? Dr. Phil Macron.
Yeah.
The guy with the unique solutions to very complex problems.
Mm.
Eh.
Mm, 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 mm. Now,
So one last
now
question.
you know.
What next for you?
Yes. What's next for me?
No, you
I
can
think
answer what you wanted to say first. We'll get to that one.
yes. I just wanted to make a small remark that with madness, you know that you have walked in the shoes of God. You've walked in God's shoes.
Yeah, that's why I called it the consciousness of God.
Yeah.
God's consciousness. It's the ultimate transcendence.
Mm. That I can create it all and abandon it all.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yes.
Whew. So I think what's next for me is Africa. With medical marketing, I'm going for Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah. The promised land. And the
So
Israelites are not even willing to walk it.
do the clients come to you or do you go to them?
Bro, you need to go to the if you go they say knock and the door shall be open, meaning that the door is automatic. The promise is that the door will open, but you have to knock. But there's going to be a point where you don't have to knock,
Yeah.
where people will just come to you. So when you're starting, the only thing that you need to do is to have conversation. If it's the only thing that you need to do, you need to be psychotic, talking to people every day, having conversations every day. Otherwise, a business that has no customer is not a business. Nothing happens in a business without a customer. You need to go to them.
Correct. Yeah. A product is of no use if there is no consumer.
No use at all. It's an expensive
And your product
hobby.
is validation.
Validation.
Yes. Your product is validation. You know, when you told me that yesterday, I was like, this guy has figured it out.
Yeah.
Validation. And you package it like a product.
And you package it like a product.
And you put a price tag on it.
And you put a price tag on it. And because they are lacking the self-esteem, they're going to buy it. They're going to rent it.
Yeah.
You own the product. You
Yeah.
don't give it away, you own it. You rent it to them.
Man. Luke, I'm happy for you, man. I'm so happy for you. I'm so glad it's working. What a guy.